Okay, my dear Greg Saunders.
Gregory.
Eagle looking great. Your go.
And we're rolling, Gregory.
Greg Saunders.
Wow. Hey, great.
Show us the skills that have made you a media darling.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, 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 welcome to the Saturday Morning Stateline Show. Cold coffee, warm beer, same temperature. I'm Greg. He's Tom. It's your Saturday Morning Stateline Show, episode 174 on this 12th day of August, the year 2023, the latest it has ever been
in the history of mankind. So that brings to mind, what do you think I have in here? Coffee or warm beer?
I don't know that I've ever seen you drink a beer. Maybe once.
I don't know. I don't think I ever have.
I'm just not a beer guy. I know I'm a cheesehead. I grew up in Wisconsin, but there's a story behind my being cured of desiring beer, really. We could talk about that another time. But,
yeah, I have a similar story, but I will on occasion. Hang on.
Yeah, I'm okay with a good cold apple ale. Give me a Wicked Grove or an Angry Orchard, and I'll have one of those every once in a while.
I don't get into that kind of stuff. I just don't. I don't know why. And believe me, I'm not anti-drinking, anti-alcohol. Only for me, I guess. But even then, I'm not. It never comes to mind. When I go to a bar to do bar trivia, I spend 3 to 4 nights a week in a bar, and I don't drink. That's the funny thing. I go there and I get water. Or I bring my Charlie. You've seen my Charlie Brown mug, right? Full of coffee, because I like to have something warm to drink. Sometimes it's got hot tea. But anyway, there for the record, it's
talking a lot. Keep the throat lubed up.
That's the thing. But a lot of people say, "Hey, can I buy you a beer?" No.
Thanks. No thanks.
There's no point, because here's the thing: if I go 3 or 4 nights a week, that means, and I was going to have, I'll just have one beer. Fine, I'm drinking 3, 4, 5 beers a week, and maybe I stick around and talk to people because I do a lot. I'm good. Let me have another one. I'll have another one. Before you know it, you're drinking a lot.
Before you know it, you're not
for a diabetic, and for somebody who just, for the most part, doesn't care. I just don't care about alcohol. I don't care. It's a non-issue with me. So that's about it.
Off of the tangent we go. Let's get into the big number of the week before I forget.
I was going to say we get it.
Our current race to 10 has Tom and Joann tied at a score of 4 apiece. Yeah, right. This is a little different game than we've had in the past. You know, these last 3 games or so, one or the other has gone way out in front. This one, neck and neck the whole way so far. Our big number of the week this week is 147.38 billion.
Wow.
147.38 billion. The answer is Buffett or Blades. Buffett or Blades. We'll give you the answer before the end of the show. And a reminder, please follow us on Spotify. We're the Saturday Morning Stateline Show on Spotify, even though I spelled that wrong. Let's see. Can I correct that on the fly? Let me see if I can correct that.
What did you spell wrong?
State lie.
Oh, I'm looking at Spotify going,
there we go. Correctly. Saturday Morning Stateline Show. We're on Spotify. I think, there's maybe 8 or 9 people actually following us on Spotify. We love to follow us on Spotify and have we need those 5-star reviews. That's a big deal on Spotify. But obviously, we're still live every Saturday morning, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And you can make your comments. When you make your comments, they usually show up for me to share if I choose to share them on the screen. For example, Kurt's checking in on LinkedIn this morning, and he says, "Good morning, guys." He just came up with that all by himself this morning. Typed it in, and then look at that. It's on the screen.
He's so clever.
You're a good Kurt. I appreciate that.
He's so clever.
Very, very nice. We got a great guest today. April's going to be joining us from the Burpee Museum, and she's got a really interesting job. We want to tell you all about her and what she does and what you should be taking your friends and kids and family to at the Burpee Museum of Natural History here in Rockford. Got some shout outs this week. Had another very interesting week in the state line that I want to share with you real quick, including a shout out to the Rockford Rivets. Congratulations to the Rivets on having a great season. They are turning things around with new ownership this year. They put a great team on the field. I want to say they're in first or second place in their division. They have 2 games left, today and tomorrow in Traverse City, and then their season's done. I'm not sure about playoffs. I'm not sure how that all works with the Northwest, the North Woods League that they're in. Playoffs. No, they're really, because they're like, this is one of their first seasons in a while when they've had more than 40 wins. They've had a good season.
It's pretty good.
That is for some.
Well, yeah. What do they play, like 80 games? So more than 40 wins means you're 500 or better.
I think they play 60 games. 58 or 60 games total.
Okay, I did not know that. I thought they did like half the season of what major leagues do. That's pretty good then.
Maybe a little more than that, but when I saw the record last, it was 40 and like 17 or something like that, or I forget what the loss column was, but it wasn't big.
Oh wow!
So kudos to the Rivets on a great season, and they're turning things around there. You're gonna want to go out there next summer and bring the family out there. A very exciting final game of the season, where they had a walk-off win in the 10th inning. They were behind most of the game. They came back, tied it up in the 9th, took it to the 10th, and walked it off. So kudos to the Rivets. Went to the Wisconsin State.
It says they were in second place in their division.
Okay,
so
cool. Went to Wisconsin State Fair on Monday, which the State Fair I think runs through. Is it this Sunday? I forget how long the Wisconsin State Fair goes, but it's such a great fairgrounds. And of course, Boone County Fair is going on as well this weekend. So you don't have time to drive up to West Dallas and see the Wisconsin State Fair. Go to Belvedere, go to Boone County Fair. This is a great fair weekend. And there's a lot of cool stuff to see and eat and do. So go enjoy the fair. Sold on Tony, Keller Williams Realty Signature. Want to give a shout out to let's see. Met with some friends again this week. It's really cool to be able to do business and help some friends who are looking to, upgrade or right size. It's time for their lives in their lives to do something different with their living conditions. So really cool to meet with some folks who they need a bigger house. Their teenagers need their own space. They need to have an extra bedroom. And so we're looking to help them sell their current house, get into a house that fits their current lifestyle with their 2 teenagers. So that's the good news. The bad news, or the challenging news, is that inventory is still so dang low that it's a real struggle for buyers right now to find a house to buy. There's just not a lot of homes on the market. So it's probably never been more important than now to be working with an experienced realtor, because you need someone who's keeping an eye on and has finger on the pulse of the market, because winning right now is tough. Tony likes to use the analogy of if there's 15 people going to the store and they all want to buy apples and there's only 2 apples on the shelf, those apples are pretty darn valuable, aren't they? And that's kind of what's going on right now. There might be 2 houses on the market that fit criteria of 15 people, and they're all wanting to buy it. So what does that mean? Home values are rising. The competition is stiff in the housing market right now. So went out to Joann this week too. Want to give a shout out to all of our LinkedIn Lunch folks who joined us for LinkedIn Lunch yesterday. Nicole Sadao from Altruize. We've had her on the show a number of times. Altruize, tell a better story, live a better life. The app that helps you track your volunteer hours, reminding us all that the app is free to use for people that just want to track their volunteer hours. The paid part of Altruize is for companies and organizations that require their employees or their students or whatever to do volunteer hours. Those are the people that are paying for it because it's a requirement of whatever that is they do. And she's looking to take her app into the judicial system, because a lot of times, convicted folks that are required to do community service, that would be very handy for them to be able to track it with an app like Altruize.
Yeah.
So she's looking to get into that space, and hopefully with the connections made at LinkedIn Lunch on Friday, she'll be able to connect with someone that can help her do that. And if you listening right now, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, or on Spotify, if you know somebody in the judicial system that might be able to help Nicole connect in that direction, that would be very, very helpful for her.
Right.
It's cool that this is developed right here in Freeport, and her backstory is really something special. It was really cool to hear more about the development of the app and her journey as a business owner, as a small business owner, and in the tech world. And she's not a techie person. Okay, she's a chiropractor. That's what she went to college for, to be a chiropractor, and her husband still is. And where she started with this app and where she is today are two completely different places. It's just a really interesting backstory. But UltraWise, look it up, download the app on your phone, use it to track your volunteer hours. You'll be glad you did. And then before we get to some brief Packers talk, shout out to Rock Valley College Starlight Theater. We had our season ending banquet last night. The season that Chris Brady called our season forward. Last season was the season worth waiting for because it was the delayed 2020 season that we couldn't do in 2021. We did it in 2022. This year, the season forward was a very special thing because we had 4 big casts. Our cast party last night was at Sam's Restaurant on East Riverside, and we packed that big ballroom out. There was a lot of people in there, Tom. It was so.
That is so cool. That is cool.
Yeah, we had a great time. It was very full, and celebrating the season that was just very, very special. Kudos again to all my Footloose cast members.
So it's all done now. Cinderella's done. Stinky Cheese Man's done. Footloose.
Almost. There are 2 Stinky Cheese shows left today.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, I went to the Stinky Cheese Man preview night show thinking, oh, this will be a cute kids funny show. It's freaking hilarious. If you don't even have kids, go to this show today. It's at 11 and at 2. And it is so funny. You don't need kids to go to this show and enjoy it. It's all of your favorite fairy tales from when you were a kid done extremely stupidly. That's the whole thing. Is this is a stupid way to tell fairy tales. It's not the right story. You know, they don't tell it the right way, and it's hilarious that they don't tell it the right way. Mm-hmm. The narrator is Jack from Jack and the Beanstalk, and he wants to be like the star of the show, but there's all these other things going on, and he's distracted, and it's Ducky Lucky and Loosey Goosey, and just, you know, all the funny stuff, all the funny fairy tale stuff. You're gonna love it. Stinky Cheese Man and other stupid tales, or whatever they called it. But 11 o'clock today, 2 o'clock today, and then officially the Starlight season is done. In the fall, they do a Shakespeare, and I have not heard yet if there will be a traditions show this winter, if they're going to do a Christmas show or something. I imagine they're going to do some sort of show in the cabin like we've done in the past, on the stage in the wintertime, which is a really cool thing to do, but I haven't heard yet.
How do they do that if it's a winter show and the place is open, right?
No. It's on the stage. It's on the closed stage. They turn the stage into a theater in the round.
Oh, okay.
So the seats are all inside. It's a half round. It's not in the round completely, but it's a really.
What I'm asking is, how do they close off, like where people are sitting? How do they close off the sides?
Everything's on the stage. The big silver stage doors that open to do the show to the outside stay closed. So everything's inside.
That's not what I'm asking. I guess I'm not talking for the show.
Seating is on the stage.
Huh?
The seating for audience members is on the stage as well.
Okay, no, that's not what I'm asking. Does that stadium thing stay open all winter? That's what I'm wondering.
Oh, the blue seating?
The blue seating.
That stays open. You can't. Yeah,
you can't close that off. Okay, that's what I was asking.
There's no
that
sidewall.
Stage must be huge, then.
It's big enough. You can fit a couple hundred people on the stage with.
Okay. That was also confusing me, but I was thinking that they had like louvered doors that they could close that whole thing in.
It's that would be a really interesting thing to do if there was a way to close the sides up.
Yeah.
I wonder if when they built it, if that was even in the back of their minds that they could say, okay, if we just add these 4 or 5 or 6 more panels, we could actually close the sides up and kind of enclose the whole thing. That would be a really interesting thing to do.
Yeah, along the same concept that you said you were at Sam's Ristorante. They've got the louvered doors like this that just close, and you could separate one big gigantic room and make 3 or 4 different banquet rooms.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Not at Starlight though. Not at the theater. That would not work.
Yeah.
So April's standing by. Let's talk Packers after we talk because
That's
April's
fine.
stood by
That's cool.
so generously with her time this morning. April is the Director of Education and Growth at the Burpee Museum of Natural History. Good morning, April.
Good morning, guys.
Let me see if this is going to work here. There we go. Look at that. Burpee Museum
Yay.
of Natural History, which has been around in Rockford for quite a while there on the riverside there.
It has.
And what can you tell us about yourself? Did you grow up in Rockford? What is this job? Was this job your dream job for years? Just tell us a little bit of backstory about April.
Well, I did. I grew up in Rockford. I was a Kappa kid, so I went to Auburn and West way back in the day. But then when I went off to college, I was in Central Illinois, so I've been there for the last 20-ish years. I was actually doing theater. So my degree is in set design and lighting design. And I worked for a really great little dinner theater down in Central Illinois for a really long time. In a nutshell, just decided last year that it's time to move back to be close to mom again. And so I moved back to Rockford. And Burpee reached out and said they were hiring. And it was kind of just a match made in heaven. So complete career shift. And now it's my new dream job. It's fantastic working here all the time. So
that's awesome. So was Burpee around when you were a kid that you really, was always on your radar?
Absolutely. So when I was a kid, though, so in the 90s and before, the Burpee Museum was next door in the Barnes historical mansion. So I have memories of being a little kid walking through those old doors and seeing all the taxidermy and the rocks behind the glass.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
Which now seems so small.
right. Super tiny. And so it's so much fun to see how it has just grown so much since then. They built this whole big entire structure with 3 floors and a basement. It just houses so much more, just bigger and better. And now we've expanded to having a paleontology lab and a bio lab. We have all of our animals. It's just there's always something going on. So
the museum, I'm going to bring up the website here real quick to show everybody. If they go on to burpee.org, burpee.org, there's just a wealth of information on there to check out. And you were telling me before we came on the show here today that there's even a group right now out in Montana digging.
Yeah. Yep. Our paleontologist, Josh Matthews, and the whole team, they're out in Montana right now, Hells Creek, Montana. Yeah. I keep seeing videos that they keep sending me through Instagram. And there's this triceratops or this femur of something, or here's, just, it's so cool.
Looking to bring back another Jane or something like that.
Who knows what they're finding? I just keep hearing that it's exciting. So I have to wait another couple of weeks before they come back and get to tell us all about it.
How does that process work? Do they get a phone call from somebody that said, hey, we were digging, we were going to build something here, and we found bones? I mean,
so what they have is we have Burpee. It's not Burpee land. It's through, it's a government-owned property that we just kind of lease to dig on because we have the experts who know how to treat the bones. We have the facility back when they bring them back to Rockford to properly store them and properly, clean the bones and do all the science needed to identify things and then be able to, create the science from there.
Wow.
And that's independently funded by someone?
That's part of Burpee. So, I mean, obviously we get lots of grants, we get funding from all sorts of different places because we are a nonprofit, but it's all structured right through Burpee.
Okay. Awesome. Well, what was the other thing? Oh, the other thing that we wanted to make sure we talked about today was something you guys are doing outside of the museum, right? The Nature Nook?
Yes, our Nature Nook. We have a fenced-in area in between our building and Discovery Center that we are turning into a really fun play place for the kids to go. So it was inspired by kind of the need to have a place for recess. So after a big long field trip, kids have been on a tour of the museum. They just ate lunch and they're getting ready to go back on the bus for a half hour or so. They kind of just need to run around and let off some steam. So we fenced in an area that would be good for them to do that. But then we thought, why not include this in our mission to inspire learning? And so we decided to make a Nature Nook to teach about local wildlife, local plants, and how good they are. So we also have a butterfly tent that we have built. It's a big agricultural tent, 14 foot by 40 foot. It's huge. And we have been raising monarchs to be able to release in that tent. We have, probably 14 maybe right now that are getting ready to hatch any day now.
Nice.
And all sorts of, look around and how many ladybugs can you spot around the area? If you look around and see a bird, how do we identify birds? How do we identify different snakes that maybe you'd find in the area? We're going to have a prairie section to teach about prairie plants and why they are necessary for our area, how they are great around the river, water conservation. Like, the sky's the limit. There's so many fun things.
Yeah.
The forest preserves are helping us. The park district is right there. I just talked with the soil and water conservation district, and they're going to help us out with rain barrels and how to teach about water conservation.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's really awesome, ingenious designs for water barrels and collecting rainwater out there. They're just really, really cool.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Okay. Well, if somebody wants to become a member, obviously, I just had the screen up there, becoming a Burpee member. A lot of different ways you can join as a family, as an educator, as a student, homeschooling, stuff like that. There's a lot of different things that you can take advantage of at Burpee, and it's more than the museum. You guys are quite a setup out there. I mean, right next to the Discovery Center, and you're on the river, and it's really quite a campus that is formed right there on the river, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's we host weddings, big events, things like that. We've had a couple big fundraisers that we helped host this past summer. Outdoors in the amphitheater, we had Music on the Rock. So it was live blues concert every Wednesday. Unfortunately, last Wednesday was the last one for the summer, but that has been a great event, bringing blues acts in completely free to the community. So it's, everybody from people living in the apartments nearby to, whole families coming out for that and having a great time. We've been partnering with Embassy Suites with their rooftop bar and lounge. We've been doing trivia at the top, is what we're calling it.
Okay.
We've been our quiz masters.
I'm listening.
We do trivia on the rooftop. So up 12 stories up, overlooking the Rock River, doing fun fun things. So
Wow.
we're looking forward to doing more of that come this fall. It's just been gorgeous up there.
Do you know what
So,
night that's going to be?
Most likely the next one will be September 12th.
September 12th.
September 12th at 7. So we've done fun things. The last one was cryptozoology was the theme. So how much do you know about Yeti or the Kraken?
Zero.
You know.
Well, Yeti, abominable
go.
snowman.
See?
I know
Kind
that.
of question.
Kraken, a hockey team from Seattle.
Time
I
to
know that.
study up or just go and listen to everybody.
Just have fun.
Oh, I would love to. Okay, so here's the thing. Talking about picturesque, I'm going to combine two things here. I did a wedding. I mentioned it, I think, in our pregame interview here. I did a wedding reception a couple of summers ago now, out there on the back of Burpee. Oh my God, is that setting beautiful? You do not know how beautiful it is until you go out there. It's plenty big enough. There were tables all over the place, but the Rock River, the scenery on the other side, just the setting. Oh, it's magnificent. Now, the other thing, when Taco Betty's was downtown, I used to host trivia up there. We used to do it on the roof. Imagine adding 10 stories or 8 stories, whatever, because that's 4 stories high. It was beautiful. It was unbelievable. You're looking over downtown Rockford. So, and I haven't been to Embassy yet. I am going to make it there one of these days. And maybe September 12th is the day. I'm looking forward to it. I won't know squat. I'll get 2 answers right, but I'll
as
have
long as you're
fun.
having fun, that's what counts.
That's right.
You do.
That's
Yeah,
right.
you have to go up to the rooftop. That was Embassy took care of me before I found my Burpee job. So they are fantastic out at Embassy.
Mhm.
And yeah, the rooftop is such a cool, unique space for Rockford. It's you can easily forget you're up in Rockford
Right.
from there.
Right.
Yeah. Rooftops are always cool. I remember as a kid, we used to climb up on the garage roof, looking over at our neighbors.
World.
Hey, Johnny, I see your dog in the yard. It's all fun and games until you fall off and sprain an ankle. Then you have to explain it to mom and dad why your ankle got sprained. You tripped over a rock.
Well, it looks like your next event is this August 25th, Burpee Rocks reading. Looks like you got Jenna Goldsmith coming to read.
Yeah. So we've been doing this fun project over the summer, inviting local role models to come and read to our guests. And then we bring out one of our animals and kind of do a little bit of a lesson about the animals or conservation or however it kind of ties into the theme of the day. So Jenna's going to come. Jenna Goldsmith, if anybody doesn't know, is the Rockford Poet Laureate. And she's fantastic. So much fun, so enthusiastic. So we're very excited to have her. We actually, yesterday was our last one. And that was Aaron Wilson.
The Aaron Wilson.
Yeah. Aaron Wilson came out with Anna Marie. And so they read a really fun book, and we got out Princess the Bearded Dragon. And yeah, it was a great time. It was very, very fun.
Nice. I know our buddy Chris Brady from Starlight was out there to do one of the story times too. And
Absolutely. So Chris Brady and I were friends back in high school. So that's been really fun to reconnect with everybody since coming back also.
cool.
So it's been fun to meet everybody through Starlight this year through the Burpee Rocks reading.
Nice. Well, is there anything else that we haven't asked you that we want to make sure we talk about Burpee? I know there's a lot of different directions we could go when it comes to the museum as a whole. I think it's really cool that you're one of those stories, April, and you already know this. You're one of those stories of the Rockfordians who's come back home. There's a lot of these stories that have been talked about over the last 5 or 10 years of folks who did go to went to high school here. Went off to college, maybe came back for a couple of years and then went somewhere to work and then came back to Rockford again for various reasons. A lot of times it's family. A lot of times it's just, the quality of life and cost of living is so great in Rockford compared to anywhere else in the country that a lot of people are saying, I didn't know what I had till I was gone. And then here they come back. So you're one of those stories too, April.
Absolutely. And I everybody keeps asking me, how do you like it? How do you like it? Think I'm going to say that I don't like it or something. Just, I love it. I love how the community's grown. I love that you can drive around and you can't go more than like 50 feet without seeing a mural. Now it seems, you know, the arts and the culture and the science with Burpee, you know, everything is just really expanded since, I mean,
a lot of good things have come out of Rockford. And here's the other thing too. Everybody says nothing to do here. Well, anybody who says that is lazy. There's a lot to do here. You can go to Chicago, you can go to Milwaukee, you can go to Madison. But if you think about it, what are you going to Chicago for? Well, there's this really cool concert. Oh, we have them here. Well, there's a really cool sporting event. Well, we have them here. Look, we don't have a professional football team, but neither does Chicago. So whatever. Greg and I are both Packer fans. But anyway, you can do everything here that you can do anywhere else. Maybe not on a large scale, but you can still do everything. 7 nights a week, you can be busy doing something fun. You just have to kind of look for it. But guess what? Go to Chicago, stand in the middle of LaSalle, Michigan Avenue, whatever. You're going to have to look for something to do. No one's going to come up to you and say, hey, go over there. It's a lot of fun. You still have to look for it. You got to know where you're going or what you're doing. So it's going to require a little bit of research. Absolutely. So don't be lazy, people.
I heard somebody said at one point near the beginning of when I moved back, that was whatever you're looking for in Rockford, you can find it. You just have to.
Absolutely. A truer statement has never been uttered.
You can drive from one corner of the city to the other corner in less than an hour.
Right.
You know, traffic. I hate driving in Chicago. I don't even like driving in Milwaukee. But around Rockford, you can get literally from north to south, east to west, corner to corner in less than an hour. Sometimes even less than half an hour, depending on where you're going.
Well, yeah, if you're in high traffic times, then it's still even less than an hour. But I can get from my house to way across out on Lyford Road, Flodine Boys and Girls Clubs, in about 18 minutes. And that's saying something. Now, if I were to do it at 3 p.m. or 7:30 in the morning, not so much, but add another 10 minutes. But yeah, you can get around.
I'm still kind of floating around the Burpee webpage as we're talking here, and just being reminded, 1942, Burpee was established. Harry and Della Burpee, open to the public inside the historic Barnes family home, what was built in 1893. Here we are over 75 years later, still doing everything they're doing.
And just bigger and better.
Mammals and birds, originally showcased in 1904 at the Rockford Public Library. It's just another one of those things in Rockford that some people just kind of forget is there, unless you're driving up and down Main Street and you go, oh, that's right, Discovery Center and Burpee and the Rockford Art Museum and stuff. That needs to be checked out every once in a while, not just when the kids are in school, not just when the kids do field trips. Get out there and experience that. So, well, we're glad you're back, April, and doing what you do. You got a great staff and team and facility there to promote. So any other events that you guys have coming up? Mainly our main focus here on this show is really trying to get the Rockford area not-for-profits, their fundraisers, and the businesses that support them, give them as much voice as we possibly can. That's what we like to do here on this show. So
thank you so much for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we want to make sure to at some point, Tom, one of us should probably do the show live from Burpee on Saturday.
I'll do it. So folks, anybody listening, if you do go, make sure you check out Tortilla. Tortilla is a 60-pound tortoise. She's amazing. She's huge and fast too. She's actually pretty fast. Tortoises can run a little faster than we think. Anyway, Tortilla is awesome. So if you go out there, ask to see Tortilla. I don't know what the protocol is. She could be sleeping. Who knows? I don't know. But she's wonderful.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time this morning, April. And let's keep in touch, and we'll be glad to have you back on the show again in the future.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. You guys too.
Nice
Thank
to
you.
Director of Education and Growth at Burpee Museum of Natural History right here in Rockford. What a cool place we have to experience and enjoy right here in Rockford. Joann is sitting by over at the PAWS Humane Society, just comfortably sitting in her comfy chair and her bowl of candy and whiny cats. Do you have any dogs in the facility this morning?
Well, I have one dog here who's waiting to do a meet and greet. Leanne. I don't know why the typewriter came up. Hello?
Oh, just sending a little private message to April. That's all.
Oh.
Awesome.
So why did my typewriter come up?
I don't know. She wanted to.
Mine did too. We can see
It's
what
one of
you
those
wrote.
restream features that no one else saw on the screen, but we saw it because we're in the platform. Looking forward. I don't have it confirmed yet, but I'm looking forward to sharing another cool thing next week with the group that's doing something special. They're starting in Madison, ending in Freeport. What are they doing? I want to talk about that next week, hopefully with Randall. I haven't confirmed yet that he can be on the show, but he was at our Rockford Linked lunch yesterday, which we had a wonderful connection with Nicole Stodow from All True Eyes, which SMS info, Saturday Morning Stateline Show info, is unofficially brought to you by All True Eyes, the app that enables volunteers to track, verify, and maintain their own community service data for a lifetime. All True Eyes, ladies and gentlemen, tell a better story. Live a better life. What's
And
going on?
I know this is, but just talking about Burpee, I was just there with my granddaughter on a field trip with her school.
Nice.
And it was real. I thought, oh my God, Burpee, but it was so interesting. And I thought, she's 4, what's she going to get out of it? But they had a lot of hands-on things, and the whole upstairs has changed, and it's like a hands-on activities. And I'm sure maybe April talked about that, but it was just really interesting. And the animals, I got to see animals. So, and the turtle has been with Burpee forever. The big turtle that Tom was talking about.
Yeah, tortilla. I've seen her, and she is just massive. She looks like a big old trash can lid.
Get out.
Kids love it, though.
Get out and see her. What's going around Rockford this weekend? Well, how about Life Decisions 815 Fun Fair? This is out at Dahlquist Park today. 1 till 5, free admission, and the 815 Funwear, a chance to join the tribe of mentors, come together to help youth get back on track, stay out of trouble, reach healthy adulthood. Dahlquist Park, all part of 815 outside, 1 to 5 this afternoon. Of course, we talk about the Atwood Center a lot. They've got their birds of prey every Saturday from 10 till 2, and they feed those birds of prey at 1 o'clock every Saturday, and it's pretty gross, and kids love it. So you free admission, birds of prey exhibit at the Atwood Center on New Milford School Road, down here in my neck of the woods in the lovely village of New Milford. Come on down and experience that. And if it's dry enough, if we don't get these storms today, walk the trails. They're very well mulched. They have trails that are not muddy. They're mulched very well. So even if it is a little bit damp, you could often still walk and or mountain bike them. And a lot of people do. We have a lot of people that bring their mountain bikes down here and enjoy Atwood Park. And then the Saturday Fun on the Farm at Lockwood Park Trailside Equestrian Center, Children's Farm, that's on Safford Road. That goes on every Saturday from 10 to 4. It's free admission to the park. Some of the activities do charge fees, and some of them are free. There's some wagon rides usually through the park, meadows and the woods. That's a fee. But barn visits, pony experience, all different things going on at Lockwood Park. And summer's about done. If you haven't had the kids out for some fun like this, you're running out of opportunities. The school's about to start. I've seen some of our friends from different communities where school has already started this week. And I'm like, wow, yeah, summer's about done, isn't it?
Swooping to the end.
Hello, yeah. 5 years ago, we talked about something. Remember this from about 5 years ago? There was a book called The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning. Remember talking about that?
I thought I read it.
it's a book that had people talking. It dug into something called dostandning. Dostanding is a hybrid of the Swedish words for death and cleaning. The process of cleaning a house before you die. I know it sounds so morbid, doesn't it? Rather than leaving it for your loved ones to do after you're gone, the author Margareta Magnusson wrote, "Don't collect things you don't want. One day when you're not around anymore, your family will have to take care of all that stuff. I don't think that's fair." And she wrote a book about it. The Gentle Art of Swedish Death Cleaning.
Wow.
I often look at all this stuff we've collected in our basement and go, I really don't want our kids to have to deal with all this stuff.
When you give the example, it actually does make sense, because I know a lot of people that will scale down when they know that, you know, Mom, why are you getting rid of all this? Well, I'm not going to be around much longer. Don't talk like that, Mom. You know,
being kind.
But it happens to everybody. Yeah.
One of the volunteers said there's actually a movie or a series on death cleaning on Peacock.
Oh,
So
that
she
doesn't
said
surprise me.
the art of death cleaning by this author. So it's on the Peacock network. And I think the Peacock network is free. I'm not sure.
For some Comcast subscribers, it probably.
Oh,
Yeah, it is. It wasn't for me. I had to download it because I wanted to see NBC Sports
but
items.
anyhow,
So I
just
thought
mention
or
that
whatever.
in passing.
Check it
So I
out.
thought, interesting.
Yeah, no,
Check
that's
it out.
cool. That is
I
very
recently changed cars. Tom recently did too. A survey of men's relationships with cars from Progressive was released recently, and it said 78% of men will actually admit that they
cool.
love their
Naming
cars.
car.
Well, like they
Okay.
love pizza. I mean, it's not, yeah. But yeah, 78% said they love their cars. 63% said they talk to their cars. I've talked to my car before. I'll admit to that. 43% think of their cars as a close relative. That's a little weird. 38% keep pictures of their cars on their phone.
Mm.
With some of these
Now we're
classic
getting
cars,
weird.
some of these old antique classic cars, I totally get that. I did take a picture of myself with my last car as I was saying goodbye to it, because I really enjoyed driving my last car, and I was kind of reluctant to give it up, but I was like, it's time to move on to something that gets a little better gas mileage and is a little more reliable. And I didn't name my car. I know some of my kids have named their cars in the past, which I think is fun and funny, but I don't know. Have you ever named your car, Joann? Have you ever?
No, I do not name my cars.
You ever thought of your car as anything other than just utility?
My car.
I named the only car I've ever named. It was a Hyundai Sonata, and it was a stick, and I love that car to death. I named it Snowball, and that was it. It was a
Carolyn
white car.
calls it Grandma's
That
car.
was it.
That's as close as it has a name. There's Grandma's car.
I think the only car I've ever owned that had a name. I bought a car from a friend because I was in a tough spot. I needed a vehicle, and I needed to buy something that ran, and I bought this. Oh gosh, what was it? It was an old Ford, like mini station wagon, you know, with the wood panel. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
the Country
Squire. It was like the
Country
Ford Country
Squire,
Squire.
something like that.
And it had, as its hood ornament, it had a Cadillac hood ornament. Put it on there for the fun of it, and they called the car the Admiral. And so my friend Irma sold me this car for really, really cheap, knowing she was helping me out, and said, you know, it's not a great car, Greg. It's not going to last much longer. I don't know how much longer it's going to last, but the Admiral is yours. You know, and I was very, very thankful to have it when I needed it. But my gosh, that needed a name just to give it some humanity, because it was not a good car. It was not. But it got me through.
Wow.
It got me through for about a year when I needed it really, really bad. And some final stuff, randoms for this week. I was still looking at some information about Alaska. Alaska, not only is Alaska the northernmost United States state, it's also the westernmost and easternmost state of the United States.
It's interesting.
It's
But yeah, because it passes
Yeah,
with the
it's
international
on
date line.
the
Is
other
that
side of
what
the international
yeah,
date line.
right.
That's kind of strange. So northernmost, westernmost, easternmost state, and it's the only capital of a state that's only accessible by water or air. There's no roads to Juneau, Alaska.
I was going to say,
No.
do you know the capital?
You know what it is?
Do you know what it is?
This might freak you out too. Paint on a plane. When planes get painted, it can add anywhere from 600 to 1,200 pounds to the weight of the aircraft. That's a lot of paint. Average distance between the stars in the sky is 20 million miles. These are some of the big numbers I didn't use this week for our big number of the week. 21% of us don't make our beds daily. 5% of us never do. Are you a
I
bed
make
maker?
it every single morning.
Every morning I fluff up the covers, fluff up the pillows, do that because the dogs will jump on it.
There you
And
go.
I have a water bed.
You
Last
still
thing
have
I
a
want.
water bed.
Oh yeah. I know the 70s called, they want it back.
The 70s waterbed.
Hey,
Yeah.
if it's not leaking, there you go.
I don't know. That's one thing I have to do. They say if you make your bed, then you can say, look, I've accomplished something today.
Exactly. It's the first step of the morning that says, look at that. I did something and it looks better than when I started.
Well, I got up and made a cup of coffee. That was my accomplishment.
Oh, but I thought you said you made your bed.
I did.
He does. He makes
So
it.
two things.
We're part of that.
That's right.
We're part of that 79% that actually makes our bed every day.
Yeah.
This is the only morning of the week I don't normally make the bed because I'm not the last one out of the bed. So and usually after she gets out and I get upstairs, I'll remake the bed because I don't like the way she makes it.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
That's just between us three. Don't worry.
Don't worry. I'm not to share that. The median age of the United States population, the median age of the population of the United States. Half the population is less than this age. Half the population is more. Can you guess where we are in median age right now in the United States?
32.
65.
Yeah, Tom's way closer. I'll give you a hint.
45.
Tom's within 10.
42.
The median age is actually 38.1 right now in the United States. So that doesn't mean middle age. It just means that right now half the population is less
older and half is younger.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just thought that was kind of interesting that that's our median right now. I wonder what the average age. The stats didn't give me the average age right now. I would guess the average age right now, though, is in the 40s. I think if you were to look at it, because people are living longer than normal.
Mm-hmm.
People are living longer. Men, here's an interesting one. Men, 5 times more likely to be killed by lightning strikes in the United States than women are. The Centers
I know
for
what
Disease
that
Control
does.
has that. Huh?
Men are the
Go
only ones.
outside to watch the storm.
Yeah, or they're dumb. They're too dumb to come outside
Ooh,
from the golf
let's go to
course.
watch the storm. No, let's stay in the house. No, I want to watch the storm. Clunk.
I want to
Yeah.
watch. There's about 80 Americans every year that are killed by lightning strikes, and 85% of those are males.
See?
I don't think that's
Or else,
actually,
or else they won't quit golfing.
that's right. There's a joke among golfers. When the storm starts to come, grab your 1-iron and lift it up in the air, because the joke is even God can't hit a 1-iron. All right. No, it's a joke. It's a joke. I didn't mean to offend anybody. It's a joke.
You blasphemer!
Yeah, trust me. God can hit a 1-iron.
God created 1-irons.
That's right. 2023, it's a special year in the history of sweet tarts. It's the 60th anniversary of sweet tarts. They were introduced in 1963. The same flavors as Pixie Sticks, in case you're wondering. Cherry, grape, lemon, lime, and orange. Do you have a favorite flavor of sweet tart and or Pixie Sticks?
I have never really thought about it. I don't do pixie sticks. That's just straight up sugar.
That's just straight
But then again, so is sweetheart. It's a condensed sugar, but there's less guilt. But those pixie sticks, going like that.
At least you got to chew a sweet tart.
Yeah.
It doesn't just dissolve immediately into your.
Like
You don't
just
really
eating
have a
sugar
choice
packets.
because you get them all in the package, so you have to eat them all.
Yeah, exactly. Good point. Because you can't just like put them in your pocket, then they get all linty and everything else.
Let's just buy cherry sweethearts.
Well, I remember as a kid when you'd get a package of sweet tarts, and I really liked it was sweet tarts and Smarties. Remember that? Sweet tarts and Smarties when you for like trick or treating. And then the year they came out with the big chewy sweet tarts. Oh my gosh, I thought I was in heaven. Those things were so good.
Yeah.
The oversized sweet tarts that were chewy.
Yeah. Okay.
What a terrible thing to put in your body.
I like the really big ones. They're like quarter sized.
Yeah.
You can get them at Five Below.
I'm not endorsing that people go out and eat them. I'm just saying they're 60 years old this year. They've been around for 60 years. Okay, last couple of tidbits for you on randoms today. Only 1% of homes have changed hands this year. That's the lowest in at least a decade, according to Redfin. Again, inventory is so low that home sales are down, not because people don't want to buy them. There are plenty of buyers. There's just not enough homes to buy. And only 1% of homes have changed hands this year, the lowest in about a decade. And to solve that problem, maybe in the 10 largest U.S. markets, about 50% of office space is considered unoccupied as of June, according to Investopedia. There's a new paper from the National Bureau of Economic Research. They found about 11% of office towers in the 105 most populous U.S. cities could be converted into residential properties. I think we're going to start seeing that a lot very shortly, very quickly. It'll solve a couple different problems. One of the big problems is, of course, there's a less of a need for commercial office space right now because so many people can work from home. So a lot of these vacant office buildings are going to be converted into residential type situations, and all the ones that can anyway. And there's about 11% of office tower space they're estimating that could easily be transformed into residential living spaces. Is there much of that in Rockford? Probably not a whole lot of that in Rockford, but there's some. And in the bigger cities, there's even more. So maybe
for all of those who complain about the transformation of we don't need to do that, we talked about it earlier with our guest. Go with April. Go to the Embassy Suites. I've not been inside of it. I've been by it many times. And they had the artists rendering of it. And we're like, oh, man, that looks so wonderful. Well, now the reality is that it is wonderful and it is here. So before you're so quick to judge and say, we don't need that. We don't need that. Well, let's progress. Let's see how it looks. Let's do this. Because, there's not a lot of, there are a lot of people that could use decent housing they don't want to mow a yard. They don't want to do this. So let's get these homes where what's the word I'm looking for, where multiple people live there. Well, apartment complexes or whatever.
Complexes, condo type living. It's
exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just saying
we need more solutions like that. And the other thing that's been talked about now, especially the last couple of weeks, is just the fact that there's so many stupid government regulations and zoning issues that just need to be relaxed so builders can actually build single family homes even. And they're thankfully, at least locally, our government leaders are understanding that and starting to talk about that. So, kudos to Mayor McNamara for being a part of the discussion that says, hey, let's change some of these laws. Let's change some of these zoning ordinances so builders can build, because we need more houses. We need more houses desperately. So hopefully that gets done sooner than later, because this problem isn't going away. All right. That's all my randoms for this week. And we still have a few minutes to talk all things PAWS. Joann, you said there's a foster visit taking place today over there at PAWS. And
we have 2 dog adoptions or 2 dog meet and greets today. But I don't know. I just wanted to mention, and this is going to be backwards, I guess. The Papapalooza coming September 9th. Is that, yeah.
September 1st?
September 9th.
September 9th. All right, September 9th, Papapalooza.
Papapalooza. Adoptions have been kind of slow, and we're doing I think we're doing an adult 2-for-1. This is facing back, so I can, there we go.
There it is.
So, I don't know, I go right away to our board of, well, this is the beginning of August.
August 12th.
So,
Looks like you're averaging
3
maybe
dogs and 1, 2, 3, 6 cats.
Okay. All right.
And then I didn't know that I had it turned around. Now I can show you the Papapalooza so you can read it.
Pooch. It says Poochapalooza.
Here we go.
Papapalooza. I can't read. We used to call it, years ago it was Papapalooza.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
This is new under new management. This is my baby who came today.
Oh.
Her name is Leanne. She's 9-year-old. I forget. They just said terrier mix. So she actually has a meeting today with someone who had adopted another foster of mine 4 years ago. So hopefully they'll bring the dog so I can meet him. No, there was. I think this is a new one, Alexander. He's busy cleaning though. Big boy.
Yeah. Looks like a king.
Oh.
This is Pearl. Oh, there's some all-star wrestling going in the back of the. Now she comes down and says, I wasn't doing anything honest. That was last week's star of the week that we didn't get adopted yet. Very sweet cat. And then there's another one there.
Go ahead. They're here.
Of the 2 kittens.
No, I think you're meeting right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my meet and greet is here, so
Awesome.
they can greet the dog and they can greet my dog until I'm done. They hear barking.
He's ready for a walk. Let's leash up. Let's go walk.
Here. This is Buddy, who was my foster 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
Nice. Buddy's looking for a buddy.
Buddy, yeah. I think he's 14. Because he was older when he was adopted. We love people who adopt our senior dogs.
So nice.
Give them a good life.
So what happened? Why is he back?
No. They're
He's visiting.
They're planning to adopt my dog.
Oh
Buddy,
my goodness. That is awesome.
Buddy is coming to get a friend.
Okay. There you go. Now that's the way it should work. That's awesome.
Yeah. So Buddy's they're looking to adopt Leanne. The one we just looked at.
Right. Yeah.
She's on they took her out already. So that's our thing. We're kind of quickly through here.
All right. Very good. As always, check out PAWS Humane Society.
I think they went outside.
815-299-PAWS or pawshs.org. all things related to the PAWS Humane Society.
And what did Poochapalooza? It must have been
September 9th.
Poochapalooza.
Come on out and enjoy Poochapalooza.
Yeah, we really enjoyed filming from the fair today.
We talked about going to the Boone County Fair. We talked about it, and it turns out the Wi-Fi is only available in the admin building. It's not out at the breakfast area. So I was like,
I'm
you know
just
what?
messing with you.
No, it was a legitimate thought of doing that, and I thought, well, maybe one of you guys would want to go out there, and I was like, yeah, you know what? Let's not chance it. We'll just do the show this
I
way.
did go to the fair on Wednesday.
Did the kids enjoy any of the rides? Or just kind of walk around and eat?
Well, I only have one kid, Carolyn.
Carolyn did she want to do the?
We
the
didn't
ride?
do any of the games that was sponsored, but we did do the rides and we saw the schoolhouse. But Carolyn wasn't into the animals this year.
Oh.
So she wouldn't let me see. I didn't get to go to the poultry barn or the bunny barn, which are two of my favorites.
Oh.
I might go back on Sunday.
Okay.
But I know it gets crowded on the weekend.
I got this shared with me here last minute, and I want to put it up on the screen real quick. There might still be time to register for this. Popcorn and Persades meteor showers are better with popcorn. 9 to 11 p.m. tonight out at Severson Dells. Now, I don't know if the weather's going to cooperate with this tonight. It might. But there is a charge for this. It's $3 for members and $5 for non-members of Severson Dells. SeversonDells.org is where you can pre-register for the meteor showers with the popcorn. And like I said, I'm not sure if the weather's going to cooperate with this tonight, but they're going to try it. They're going to do their best. So, oh man, we're running long today. We'll talk Packers after we let Joann go, Tom. We can stay on after and talk Packers, okay?
I don't mind that. Okay.
We're gonna do Saturday Morning Stateline Show bonus time here after big number of the week. Current race to 10 is tied up at 4 apiece. Tom and Joann both have 4, and our big number of the week this week is a huge number: 147.38 billion. 147.38 billion. The answer is Buffett or Blades. Buffett or Blades. And Tom sent me his answer. So Joann, what is your guess? Buffett or Blades?
I'll go with Buffett.
You're going to go with Buffett. Okay, so either you're both getting a point or you're both not getting a point. I just love that happens.
And I'm pretty sure it's Blades.
You're pretty okay.
I just had that feeling because.
Well, I'm going to start with the Blade story then. The biggest wind turbine in the world is now spinning in China. There's an offshore wind farm near the China Fujian province. This wind turbine is 500 feet tall. Okay. Each blade is 403 feet long and weighs about 54 tons.
Wow. How's she doing?
That just blows my mind that something 54 tons, and there's probably 3 blades on this thing, right? So that's 160 tons of blades on this wind turbine on this wind farm. That blows my brain. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway reported an obscene amount of cash on hand, $147.38 billion last quarter. For those who are in the investment world, yes, congratulations. You're both up to 5 points each now.
Maybe we'll get to 10 together.
Yeah, wouldn't that be cool?
First tie.
Let's work on that.
Yeah.
The Berkshire Hathaway.
Next week.
A lot of people follow Warren Buffett and his investment strategies and all that sort of things. Well, as right now, they have all this cash, over $147 billion in cash, just waiting to invest in something. They're holding it. That really intrigues me right now because I would think I would want that in something. I would think I would want that money. Yeah. Why would you just leave it cash on hand? Why wouldn't it be in something? But I don't know. Read about Warren Buffett.
At least in a mattress.
Or in a pickle jar.
Yeah, there you go.
Something like that. All right, Tom and I are going to stick around and talk a little bit of Packers football. And we're going to let you go, Joann. So thank you for all that you do for PAWS, and we'll see you again next week.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. There goes Joann over there at PAWS Humane Society. And my design page today, Tom, it's not showing me all the stuff that I normally get. Okay, now I can see the title. There's our Ultra-Wise banner. Again, Ultra-Wise, unofficial sponsor of SMS Info. Tell a better story, live a better life. Download the app for free. It's absolutely free. And now I'm trying to find my banner, and I can't find my Packers banner. I don't know why it's not there. I'm sad, Tom. Where's my Packers banner? Is this it? There it is. Yay! All right, Green Bay Packers. All right, now we can turn that off. And you've got
my banner anyway, so
Packer Bear, which is hilarious. They are.
Yeah, that is kind of weird, huh? Packer Bear.
I think the Bears preseason game's today.
I believe it is. It is today, tonight. I don't know about that, but it is. They didn't play yesterday. So
the Packers played the Bengals in Cincinnati last night. It was, I believe, on local TV. One of our local stations carried the game.
Well, like I said earlier, I think I was telling you earlier, it was blacked out on my Sling, and I don't understand. But I have Sling on my phone, so I was able to watch part of it. But we were watching a movie anyway, so I thought, you know what? I'll just wait for the replay. So I went ahead on Sling, and sometime today, I think it's going to tape.
Okay. So
scheduled to record.
Well, Jordan Love, all eyes on Jordan Love. Is he going to be good? Is he going to be great? Is he going to stink? We don't know. He played 2 series to open up the game last night. The first series ended in a punt. It sounds like a couple of his passes were overthrown or not thrown well in that first series. But the second series went well enough that he scored a touchdown with a pass to Dobbs. And I think he ended the night 7 for 10, 46 yards or something like that with 2 series.
Well, look at that. Kurt is on it as usual. Channel 23, noon for the Bears.
All right. Thank you, Kurt. Channel 23 is going to have the Bears game today. Everything, I was only watching highlights last night. As I said earlier, I was at a banquet for Starlight Theater last night, so I wasn't watching the game at all. But I did go to Twitter and Instagram and watch some of the highlights, and the stuff that I was seeing was, again, it was highlights. So
yeah, no, you're going to see obviously highlights. You're not seeing the lowlights, so you won't see penalties or whatever and interceptions if there were any. But what I did see was number 31, I believe his number was. Woo, boy, did he look good. Now, as Kurt says, they looked wonderful. And what I saw in the little bit of that I saw, because I had it kind of by my side with my earplug, and I'd put it in every once in a while, like in a commercial or something like that. And I was watching, and boy, I tell you what, he looked good. He looked really good. They could have a really good running game, a really good passing game. They always have a good line, so their offense could be very good. And as long as their defense is at least what it was last year, maybe a little better, and they improved on the defense. They got some defensive linemen. They got a really good stud linebacker, and their secondary is one of the best in the. I think they're going to be okay.
I think they're
going to challenge for the playoffs, if not make the playoffs.
Let me see if I can click on through this here. There it is. Our buddy Jacob Westendorf, who now writes for Sports Illustrated. He says 5 Packers standout from the preseason opener. He wrote this last night right after.
Yeah, there you go. There's your number 31.
A score of 36-19. You know, it's preseason score, whatever. But Jordan Love made his debut. Dobbs suited up. All eyes on Jordan Love. Played 2 series. First one ended in a punt after a deep ball of Watson was broken up. biggest miss of the night, Luke Musgrave running wide open, and Love missed him badly. So the Packers have the punt.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not good. But he rebounded second series, threw 2 nice passes to Dobbs, one resulting in a touchdown. 7 for 10 were his final numbers, 46 yards. No, he was not playing the Bengals starting defense, but he looked the part, according to our buddy Jacob Westendorf over there at Sports Illustrated.
And that
Sean
line looked really
Payton.
good too. So let's just say it's your second line. Well, that even is better. That means you've got good backups. But the one, missing that pass badly that could have been a touchdown. We're going to have to get used to that, I think, as Packer fans watching Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love. We're going to have to get used to that.
Looks like Emmanuel Wilson, the running back.
Number 31.
He broke off the 80-yard run for a touchdown.
Yes.
So that's the recap from Jacob Westendorf. If you want to go to si.com, he writes for Sports Illustrated, and he's a Rock Fordian.
Yes, he is.
Very, very cool that he's doing that. So I think a lot of Packers fans are gonna blow this out of proportion. They're gonna say that they're great, they're awesome, they're going to the Super Bowl, and there's still gonna be others who are gonna be just downright haters and whatever. That's fine. The extremes are the extremes. I tend to ignore the extremes. Overall, we have such a young team. The Packers are such a young team, so there's going to be some really stupid mistakes made here and there. But overall, when the season comes to an end, if they're healthy, I do think they have a legitimate playoff shot.
I think I do too. And Kurt writes they look better than last year. Now, to be better than last year, you only have to win 9 games, 9 and 8. But that doesn't mean they're better than last year. It just means they were 1 game better, and they could still be a pretty mediocre team. I'm not looking for mediocre. I don't want mediocre. I want to challenge for the division because I think Minnesota will drop off a little bit. They will not win 11 games by 1 score or fewer. They will not. That's just not going to happen that way. Whereas last year, they were, I don't know, they were lucky. I don't know. Well coached. I don't know. Maybe.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. You froze up with the cheesiest smile.
And I'm like, does Restream record me when that freezes up or record you when that freezes up? I think it's me.
I don't know. But anyway, my point was, I think they're going to be better than last year because they're going to have. I think they're going to be a more cohesive unit. You want to know why? There are 2 reasons why the Packers were 8 and 9 last year. One of them is Aaron Rodgers and his thumb.
Yep.
Aaron Rodgers, such a prima donna, didn't want to yield to Jordan Love. He didn't tell anybody that he had a broken thumb. Now you know why balls were overthrown. Now you know why Alan Lazard's like, where are you throwing it, Aaron? What's going on here? Now you know why. And after his thumb healed, after a 2-week bye and this and that, they came back and they beat up on the Bears. I'm sorry, Bear fans, but that's the way it was. They came back and looked like the Packers of old because Aaron Rodgers' thumb was finally better. Then they went on either a 5-game winning streak or 4 out of 5, something like that, which put them smack dab in the middle of the playoff race. Had they beaten Detroit, which they should have.
8 and 8. Detroit beats them in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Didn't happen.
We go 8 and 9. Detroit goes 9 and 8. Now, here's one more thing I want to say about that. First and foremost, that's why the Packers will be better than last year because of Aaron Rodgers and his prima donna-like attitude. But secondly, it's addition by subtraction. It makes the Packers a better team because they're a more cohesive unit. Now Matt LaFleur can actually coach without having to roll his eyes and go, oh, come on, Aaron, you're killing me.
There's no longer 2 head coaches. There's only 1.
That's exactly right. Good point.
Yes.
So, yeah. So I think they're going to be better. Now, the other thing is everybody says, no, Detroit's going to win that division. No, they're not. There are 32 teams in the NFL. I think, and 17 games. Dan Campbell, coach of the Detroit Lions, is going to get out coached in 15 of the 17 games. That puts him at about 26, 27, 28 as far as head coaches. And I don't know how many of them are worse than he is. I don't know. This is just my opinion. But I think he's going to get outcoached 15 of the 17 games. I saw him personally because I've seen a lot of Detroit games. I seen him personally blow 3 games because he does not know how to coach at the end of the game, end of the 2-minute warning on either, half or the end. He is horrible with timeouts. He's not a real good game manager as far as coaching. So he's going to blow 3 or 4 games, just that alone. Secondly, if he's out coached in most of his games, he's going to lose a few games there. So I'm going to say 4 to 5 games that they could have won, they're going to lose. Now, they would almost have to have gone 15-2 for them not to be affected by that, which means they'd go 10-7. They're not good enough to go 15-2. So I think they're going to go 8 or 9 wins, and I think Green Bay is going to go 10 or 11 wins.
They let Jamal Williams go, and that was a mistake. Detroit.
Oh, that's a huge mistake. What do you have, 17 touchdowns last year?
He was balling last year big time. They let him go.
Yeah, they let him go. But they did pick up, I don't remember who, they picked up somebody who's a bona fide stud, and they got a really good running back in the draft. They may be okay at running back position. I don't know. Yeah. But like I said, Dan Campbell can't coach his way out of a wet paper bag. So.
All right. So you're predicting a Packers season maybe of about 10 wins, maybe 11. I think that's pretty fair.
I am saying 10 or 11, and I'm leaning towards 11. But I think Minnesota's still good enough to probably get to 12 wins. So I think Green Bay, Minnesota. It's going to come down to the last couple of weeks. I'm hoping. The X factor here is Jordan Love.
Yeah.
If Jordan Love overthrows and intercepts and all of that, then the Packers probably will be another 8-9 or something like that, 7-10. If he has 28 touchdowns, 16 interceptions, that's unacceptable. That's almost 1 a game. That won't cut the mustard. He's going to have to keep the interceptions to 10 or fewer. 8 interceptions. 25, 27, 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. That's a 3-1. That's really, really good. Even Tom Brady is 2.8-1 for his career, 2.75-1.
Yeah.
Last time I checked. So it probably won't be 3-1, but 2.5-1 is acceptable.
We can't put those unreasonable expectations on Jordan Love. After
okay, but
the way Aaron Rodgers protected the football, almost never threw interceptions. That's
okay. But here's the difference. It won't be because Jordan Love is such a good quarterback. It's because Matt LaFleur is such a good coach and will not put him in those positions.
Yeah,
that is what I'm banking on. Yeah. I think Matt LaFleur is going to recognize, hey, we're not gonna try and pass here on 3rd down. I know it's 3rd and 8. We're not passing on 3rd down because they're expecting it. Now we're going to do a quarterback draw. Now we're going to do a run option, RPO, run pass.
We got some of the best. We got one of the best running back tandems in the league. We're going to use that too.
That's right. You fake it to AJ Dillon going this way, and then all of a sudden you flip it to Aaron Jones going that way, or you wait and young Jordan Love, 24 years old, 25 years old. He's got legs. He's got legs. He's got instinct. He's got everything. He can probably run for that 7 or 8 yards and probably then some, maybe 15 yards. So I think Matt LaFleur, you're going to see him coach like he did the first 3 years, despite the fact that the little whiny prima donna was in his grill every other play.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Look, Mike McCarthy had the same problem with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the Jets, I think Robert Saleh is going to probably have the same problem, assuming Aaron Rodgers is there next year. I think this year will be a nice honeymoon for them. They'll probably win 10 games, 10 or 11 games, because Aaron Rodgers will win you a few games. And they got a dynamite defense in New York. And their offense is pretty doggone good, too. Their line is not good. You start blitzing Aaron Rodgers up there in New York, look out.
That could be interesting.
4 interceptions, yeah.
How's that line going to hold up? If I had to put money on it, I would think the Jets are going to have a better record than the Packers when the season's all done.
I don't think so.
I hope not. I think my disappointment line is probably somewhere around 10 losses. If the Packers get to 10 losses this year, I think I'd be a little disappointed in the season.
I'll be extremely disappointed and surprised.
if it's another 8-9 season, that wouldn't shock me. So I wouldn't be immensely disappointed. But
You know what Aaron Rodgers' first season as an official bona fide starter was?
6-10, right?
6-10, exactly.
Yeah.
6-10. And then he came back, and then they won the. I don't think they won the division, but they were beaten by Kurt Warner and the Arizona Cardinals in 2009 in the playoff game. That was the one that went into overtime, and they lost like 56 to 50 or something like that. And it was a fumble or an interception or a tipped pass that was picked up, scooped up, and ran in for a touchdown. Arizona wins in overtime, and then Arizona goes and loses in 2000. It was 2008 season. But it was the 2009 Super Bowl because New Orleans won it in 2009. Pittsburgh won it in 2008. And that was the Super Bowl that I really think that Pittsburgh was given. Because I don't think, well, there were a couple things. I don't think he caught and Santonio Holmes, I think it was. I don't think he caught that ball in the end zone. I don't think you could make the case that both feet were down toward the end of the game. And I also don't think that James Harrison should have gotten that touchdown at the end of the half. The interception of Kurt Warner on the 5-yard line, 95-yard run.
95-yard run.
If you go back and look at that play, there was a bona fide block in the back. And I mean, he got destroyed. So clearly a block in the back as James Harrison was on the 5-yard line running it in. And it didn't get called.
Yeah.
Game changer, both of those. So I think Arizona should have won that game. But anyway, I 10 losses, yeah. That would really bother me. But I don't think that's going to happen because as the saying goes, anybody, go Pat, go, absolutely. Anybody who knows anything about football knows games are won and lost in the trenches. Offensive line, defensive line. Right. Green Bay's offensive line is going to outplay most defensive lines in the NFL and in their division because I think they probably have the best offensive line in that division. As long as Matt LaFleur can teach Jordan Love how to play, can teach him how to pass, can teach him what to look for, what not to look for, I think we're going to be okay. I'm holding firm to my 10 or 11 wins. And I think Chicago is going to be better. I think they're going to go 6-11. Maybe 7-10, but I think Detroit is going to be probably 8-9, 9-8, somewhere around in there. It's going to be close. And I think Minnesota, it's going to be one of the closer divisions. And I think you're going to have 2 to 3 teams over 500, 2 considerably over 500, and 1 hovering. That'd be Detroit.
I don't know if you saw that one of the Paul Allen. I think he's the owner of the Minnesota Vikings.
He is, well,
or the GM?
No. He's the announcer. The owner of the Seattle Seahawks was Paul Allen.
Thank you.
He's the second half to Microsoft.
So Paul Allen quote this week was that the Dean Lowry pickup by the Vikings was even better than picking up Brett Favre.
Yeah, whatever. I love Dean.
Lowry.
I think Dean is a phenomenal player. He's a great guy. I don't want to hear that. I want him back
terrible in
in the
purple.
uniform.
We still like Dean.
Yeah, we do. I will always root for Dean. Okay, so Ziggy Wilf is the owner of the Vikings, just so you know. I think that is meant for Packer fans, or the Packers. Yeah. I think that's what it's meant for. Dean was a journeyman player for 7 years with the Packers, 7 or 8 years, and very good. He was NFC Player of the Week one time. Yeah. He had the interception against Chicago, ran it in for a touchdown, and he had a couple of tackles. He might have even had a sack. He had a great game. NFC Player but he was a starter. He was a 5-year starter, 6-year starter. The first couple of years, he came off the bench. Dean's good. He is an NFL, bona fide NFL player. We love Dean. I don't know as if that was their best offseason move, then that doesn't say much about the team and about their draft and everything else. And I know he didn't say best offseason move. I know he didn't say that, but I'm saying if that was a better pickup than Brett Favre, and Brett Favre almost got you to a Super Bowl, and the only reason he didn't is because he threw a really stupid, irresponsible pass that was intercepted by a New Orleans Saint cornerback, and that was the ball game. All he had to do was throw the ball down.
I think
win it.
You can't forget last year's Vikings had a winning record with a losing score total. They were minus like 40 or something like that in the points scored against.
But not only a winning record, 13-4. That's a pretty good record.
Almost I think 11 of those games
11.
were under 7-point wins.
Yep.
Like
They were
7
one
points
score or less. One score or fewer, I guess.
So they could have gone either way last year. This year it doesn't go their way. They're gonna have
No.
They're gonna be at best. I think they're gonna be 9-8 at best.
Well, here's why I disagree with that. I think it's Kevin O'Connell. I think that's O'Connor or O'Connor. Kevin O'Connor. Really, really, really good coach. He's the one that got Kirk Cousins to win ball games late in the game. He's the one that got inside Kurt's head and made Kirk Cousins believe
And
he
I
was
like
a good
him.
quarterback.
I
I do like Kirk Cousins. I think he's a really good quarterback. He's a great guy. He's a man of God. He is a great guy. But I don't think he is a top tier quarterback. He's a step below. You got your top tier, and then you got that middle, and he's at the top of that middle. And then you got your lower echelon quarterbacks, the Tannehills and whatever. And even Ryan Tannehill's still a good quarterback. And I even put Tua in that category. I don't know. He might be a middle. But anyway, Justin Fields right now is a lower end until he can win some games But that defense was what was so bad last year. Maybe Dean Lowry makes a difference there. Maybe he does. But if they drafted well, and I don't really know what their draft was, but if they drafted well and they work on that defense, yes, then they can be they can still pull out some of those games. But you're not going to win all 11 of those.
No.
You're just not.
No.
You might win 7 of those, but put 4 added to that, and you're exactly right. 9-8. You're exactly right. But I still think they're good enough to go 12-5. Because I think that offense may just generate some more points. And if that's the case, that's where your victories are going to come. You won't have 1-score victories. You'll have 2-score victories, as in 10, 12, 15, 17 points.
Right.
So I really do think Minnesota is going to be a step below, but not much. Maybe 1 run.
All right. Well, last thing I wanted to give a quick shout out that I didn't mention during the first hour. Phantom Regiment is at the DCI National. The national championships are happening this weekend in Indianapolis.
Oh yeah!
If I could be anywhere today, I would want to watch the finals at the Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis.
They are on TV though.
You can go to the movies. You can go to the
That's what it is. The movies.
movie theater.
My bad.
They are a solid top 7 team with a chance to break the top 5 this year. They won't win. They won't be a number 1 team. I'm not saying that to be negative. I'm just the scores the way they are. The top 3 are solid teams, and so they're not going to break the top 3. But they have a chance at the top 5. Right now they're running 7th, and their scores are in line that they could break a top 5, which is it's a great season anyway. Just getting into the top 10 is huge. The 12 top teams of the season perform again today for final judging, and DCI scores are posted on Twitter. So if you're a Phantom Regiment fan, if you're a fanatic, you want to check out Twitter and watch the scores. And kudos to them on such an awesome season with their excellent assist performance. All right, man, we don't normally do this. We went a whole half hour long.
Oh, that's cool. That is cool.
Definitely wanted to get some catch-up talk on the Packers. So
I'm not opposed to doing this, like no Packer football during the 8 o'clock hour, and then at 9 o'clock sticking around till 9:30 and talking football.
Some weeks
almost like a sports addendum and just talk some sports, because baseball season's winding down. Your Brewers, my Cubs are fighting it out for a division. And that puts us into October right there. And then we can talk some Packer football. We can do this all the way up to Christmas and then beyond. I have no problem doing that unless
SMS Sports Extra.
That's right.
We'll see if that's something we want to do every once in a while, especially if we get JW on or Matt Nestor or something like that.
Oh, I would love to do that. I would love to have Jake on, but Matt Nestor too. That would be terrific.
All right.
That would be awesome. So.
We'll give it some thought. All right, buddy. I'm gonna wrap things up, and you have a great rest of your week. We'll catch up with you later.
All right. Have a good one. Bye, Kurt. Thanks for checking in. We appreciate you, buddy.
Yes, thank you, Kurt. Remember, you change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone this week. We'll try to do the same. Meet you back here next week for another Saturday Morning Stateline Show. Bye.